Hi, I'm Barry John, and welcome back to Let's Play Overload. It's level 9. I have co-pilots, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hello, this is Crazy Ahmed.
And Laylight.
We have arrived at Titan Collider.
And Titan Collider, high energy physics. So, I wonder what we're going to be picking up here that's going to be fun, new, and interesting.
This space
The neutrino gun.
facility for high energy.
Was that, that wasn't Free Space, that was one of the Wing Commander games, wasn't it?
That sounds about right.
Colony's headquarters. I am detecting a UP.
I never really played the Wing Commander games. I always feel like I've missed out a bit.
Exist in the Chronos
Yeah.
frontier.
Uh-oh.
Its energy signature
They're saying that there's a gun that nobody's ever seen before.
on Titan.
Wow, that's a really good scan.
Thunderbolt, unknown.
We're not even going to give you a 3D model of it. Who knows?
Oh, shit.
Ooh, that's a big boy.
That is
Oh,
6
man.
drillers.
I hope that we have some big missiles to take care of him.
Wait,
I have
is this...
I have my semi-automatic shotgun to take care of him.
Is this gonna
Yeah,
go
that looks
full
like a
the same
thing
one
where,
now?
like, something that big has probably got to be... Like, I guess that is the elite enemy I was just talking about. Like, that's probably got to have a lot of health.
There we go. A little
Gosh,
bit of
I hope you come into the level with enough ammo to deal with whatever's right there at the entryway.
Well, this level's actually a lot easier than coming out of the previous level.
Oh, wow, they're giving you the energy recharge right at the start. They know what the deal is. And some free missiles, too.
Mentor invited Harper to join
Yep.
his team at Enceladus.
Hello.
Yep.
After the shuttle accident. It's irrational, but
Okay.
Yeah, those
seriously-
things just seem to be standard enemies at this point.
Yeah. So the lady was talking about that shuttle accident we've been talking about, or we've been hearing logs about for quite some time now. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Goodbye.
Finally, something that can't damage us from across the room.
And is big enough to reliably hit.
Okay, they're giving you... They're not just putting you in a straight hallway. They're doing the standard thing of giving you some choices at the beginning. But thank goodness we're indoors with
Yep.
good lighting.
So you mentioned the flat cannon and how you wanted me to show it off. Well, I accidentally turned it on, so I'm going to show you something here. That's me firing it. Now watch how far it is before I actually start hitting the wall versus explosions in the air. That's how short range it is.
Ugh.
And it looks like it's designed to be fired in full auto mode, because that's quite a spread on that thing.
Yeah. And
I mean,
I'm-
it's hard for me to say how good the damage is on that, but I'm assuming it's nothing worth writing home about.
no,
Or else
it's
you'd
not.
be using it.
Like, seriously, the Crusher is superior in every effective way except ammo usage.
And, you know, that's actually kind of the downside of an upgrade system when you think about it, because that kind of further encourages you to use your favorite guns and to just toss aside guns that you don't like, because they're just going to keep falling further and further behind if you don't upgrade them.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, you know, now that I've upgraded the Crusher to this point, like, it's either this or the Cyclone that it's my mainstay gun for the rest of the game.
Well, at
Although,
least
to be
they're
fair-
giving you room to dodge here.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, like, I'm down to 78 ammo, so ammo is a little harder to come by than energy.
Well, I guess they're learning from Descent 2's tendency to just give you Vulcan ammo around every corner.
That's because you use the Gauss cannon around every corner.
Alright, so this does seem to be like a particle physics lab, but we do still seem to be kind of in the maintenance corridors rather than in, like, the lounge area.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, like, it's not like they keep the particle physics collider accessible to warships like us.
Yeah, I guess it would be a little bit weird if you had to actually walk through the particle collider on the way to work.
What is this, Half-Life? Black Mesa?
Ah, so it's not the glue-on gun we're picking up then.
No.
Or the muon, or the nuon, or the strange quark gun, or whatever it is.
No, unfortunately. Wait, no, actually, we are. The gun, the Thunderbolt gun, when we actually get, and I can look at the description of it when I upgrade it next level, does describe itself as a strange particle weapon.
Oh, the strangelets. Jeez.
Yeah.
Alright.
And level 1 security, I can work with that.
Cantor said.
Was that the sky? Did night actually fall on Titan there?
Titan.
Possibly.
I guess it's been like, what is it, 6 hours in story? I guess that makes sense.
If you have to turn Titan into a black hole...
Or we're just on the other side of the moon. I guess that also makes sense.
Oh,
dear.
wow, Cantor's pissed.
We've had this conversation before. Remember teleportation? That was impossible too, wasn't it? It couldn't be done. Until you did it. Or the operator fabricators, or the repulsor fields and power core shielding. You made all of these things work. You. The Thunderbolt isn't any different. I need you to trust me, Annika. I will never give you more than you can handle. Never. My specs are good. My data are good. You just need to meet me halfway.
Okay, now I can tell he's a jerk, because he used the proper plural for data there.
Rest. I can talk to Jim Lynch and have you reassigned to the Outer Moons for a while. It's peaceful out there. Is that what you want?
I mean, on one hand, this thing from Cantor is like, he really does want everybody to be in on this 110%. But he also recognizes that he can't push people too far or else they'll break.
Cantor assigned.
Really?
That
I
actually
thought-
seemed like a threat, you know?
Yeah.
You better shape up or I'm going to reassign you to Antarctica, that kind of thing.
Cut off. From
Well,
all
that's one of the things that
non-contact
that Annika's logs in this level basically says is, Cantor basically threatened to ship me out to the back end of nowhere.
We're just going to put you in this tin shack on Pluto. And your assignment is to write the next great Ernest Hemingway novel.
Yeah, I think I should grab the cloak now. And abuse the fact that I've got the extended duration upgrade for it now.
Hey, that robot was really enjoying that wall before you showed up and ruined everything.
I don't ruin everything, I just ruin bad guys.
Fair.
And they're robots. Yeah, no. Past me, stop using the reflex cannon unless you have to.
Yeah, that all damage also seemed to leave something to be desired there.
That's
Yeah,
the upgrades
although-
at work again, eh?
Alright, extra Devastator. Now to get into this little secret area. Step 1 is hop down into here.
That was kind of interesting how they were kind of firing at the wall while they had to turn to face you. That's a nice way of, again, like, combining audio cue with visual cue to let you know that there's enemies over there.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the Hexadriller enemy is that it doesn't fire all the shots at the same time. It cycles through them.
insane, for lack of a better word. We cannot conduct experiments at those parameters without putting the entire facility at risk.
And so here's the typical, you're insane response.
we don't have enough neutron absorbers to make this work.
Alright, door locked. Now, I mentioned last time how there'd be stupid trick shots to open doors, right?
90-degree angle.
Hold on. I gotta hit this right.
I guess the map would at least give you a hint as to what the area on the other side of that grate looks like.
Yeah, but let me show you what I had to do. I had to fire through this grate, would bounce off that angle, hit that wall there, and then drop down and hit the button right there.
Yeah, can we say floating point errors? Or just, general inaccuracy, I suppose. I'm glad that there's no enemies in there, or else the seeking upgrade would be a downgrade.
And just as you say, no enemies.
There were no enemies in there.
Technically, they never entered into the room. I blew them up before they got there. But each of these little reactors opens up one side of the force fields and reveals the auto-op, so you only really need to blow up one of them to get out, not both of them. But actually blowing up both of them drops that force field so you can get that super upgrade point.
Oh, nice. See? This is why it pays to be thorough.
And this is me going, no, wait, I need to go a different direction.
Yeah, see, this level is giving you some bits of downtime. They are actually letting you build up the suspense a little bit before you get to the next area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that one of the, 6 driller enemies that you managed to blow up just there?
No, that was one of the guys that shoots the lasers. The quad.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I was about to say, I guess that wasn't quite as much health, but that was just a normal enemy.
Yeah. It was one of these guys.
Okay. Yeah, those guys, as long as you get the drop on them, you can bully them, but they do still seem to have a pretty good rate of fire once they do get going.
Okay, so I want to talk for a second here. There's 2 ways out of that main central room there. I poked my nose at one of them earlier, and I turned around and went to the other side. Basically, from when you get the security key, you can either go left or right. If you go right, it will take you down through a path that will eventually take you into this little corridor here with the purple glowing thing of interest that we might eventually come back around to.
Shiny.
If you enter that corridor, it turns on the auto ops in that room, like the generators. And then, but you can't actually do anything about it because there's a locked door down that corridor. You have to backtrack around, come back through, and eventually reach this area legitimately, which then turns around and means that this entire room is filled with enemies from the auto-operator generator that has been spawning for a couple of minutes at least.
Too hard to let that happen.
And then suddenly you're trying to come into this room and it is chock full of enemies.
Yeah, that is not very nice.
Yeah.
And there's kind of no indication either that there's a quote-unquote correct order to do it in.
No. That's one of the things you learn by playing the game and going, well, that sucked.
Guess I'll load my save.
Yep.
Everything is unraveling. The team.
And see, the correct way of designing something like that is to place that sector in somewhere that you're guaranteed to go through so that you suffer no matter what.
What, Descent make people suffer?
Just a little bit. It builds character.
Okay,
Alright, at least
drills
these
seem
cave
quite
passages
tolerable.
seem to be a lot smaller and less twisty.
You were saying, Ahmed?
Oh yeah. The drillers seem a lot more tolerable in that you can actually get the drop on them, other than the first thing that happens is they scream and shoot you in the face.
So, I've picked up the Thunderbolt. It's purple.
Why was it in the middle of like a mesh corridor instead of like in a giant room with an altar with like banners on either side of it?
Because it's not quite the BFG.
Oh.
But I want to make one thing clear here. Let me just... Oh, wait, never mind. I tried to get fancy. The Thunderbolt. It charges! It shoots purple. It's the fusion beam. It's back, and it is almost as good as it was in Descent 1.
Hell yeah.
Descent 1. Okay.
And this is the unupgraded version of it.
Oh yeah, let's take an experimental weapon that killed a person just now in one of those prior logs we heard about, and has containment field issues, and let's upgrade it.
Now, each individual, like, every time you just tap the trigger with the Thunderbolt, and I'm going to keep calling it the fusion gun until the end of days, with the fusion gun, is it takes 2 energy to fire, but it still deals out respectable damage even when you tap it. What makes this gun not as amazing as the original one is that it really comes into its own once you start charging.
Scanning for the rare metals we need.
Oh man, the notifications of you picking up the hostages actually cut off the subtitles. That's unfortunate.
Basically, you know, making Thunderbolt is hard. You must need special materials.
Well, at least so far it's
so
living up to the hype.
unobtainium won't, sorry, you were saying?
I was just saying it seems to be living up to the hype anyway.
Yeah, so unobtainium won't work. They'd use adamantium instead.
Or raritanium. But you'll notice that with this corridor there, actually, technically, I entered it backwards because I was seeing the backs of all the enemies.
Oh, nice.
Which, you know, ambushing people from behind using the fusion gun. I can't really argue with that.
Yeah, and the level designers are polite enough to point all the robots one way. They didn't just mix in one that was facing backwards and thus forwards in order to mess with you.
Yeah. I am not a fan of this type of room with these enemies in it. The one door in, big circular type room, one door out on the far side, where you know
you just have to wait there until you thin it out.
Yeah. As in, like, I'm not
Usually I've seen them solve this kind of problem by putting 2 or 3 doors into a big room that all go into the same room, of course, but from different angles. So that if all the enemies are kind of clustered up and like pointing towards one door, you can pick the other door to try and flank around them.
Yeah. I still can't believe I'm at 200 shields. Like, that's just... Wow. How long is that gonna last?
Right on cue.
Yep.
Yeah, so they gave you that new gun, and I guess you're just looking for the perfect target to try it out on. I think you used it like twice.
Well, really, like, the real reason why I'm not using the fusion gun a lot on this one is because it's unupgraded. It's not really that good at this point, and I want to upgrade it before I start. Well, next level I start to use it a lot more.
Okay, so right now it's not a good energy trade-off compared to your main like upgraded Cyclone.
Yeah, it does have its purpose. Like, the 2 upgrade paths for it are either basically heavy charge for it, or a turn this fusion gun into a mid-range seeker. The heavy charge of it is basically you're not dodging, you're a boss or a reactor, eat all the damage type upgrade. The mid-range seeker can still be charged, but it's a case of it acts as a sort of like, you don't really have a seeking energy weapon in this game. You've got, your seeking missiles and all that, but you don't have a energy weapon that can course correct, basically.
Yeah, the reflex gun doesn't course correct until it hits a wall, but by that point you've already missed the enemy and it's taking time to do its job. You want something that homes in as soon as you fire it.
Yeah. And so, like, charging a homing seeking weapon is actually a very solid weapon choice. An absolute energy hog, though, but it's still, it's the you die and everybody behind you dies.
I mean, that's like the ideal way to play any kind of game like this, isn't it? It's to snap your fingers and spend all of your energy, and then everything in the room in front of you is dead.
I wouldn't call it a limit break, but it certainly got its uses. And back when I was playing Descent 3, I cheerfully adored the plasma rifle in that game because it was, an actually good gun. And it was a callback to, the good guns of previous. Having the fusion beam, or the fusion gun in this game is that, direct callback of, this is the gun from the previous game that I know how to use from previous games. Now you see these two reactor here, and there's a reactor on the other side there. Don't blow them up. Blowing them up drops the this force field here. But if you do, let me just pause for a second here and figure out what I'm doing. There we go.
Oh hey, a legitimate use of quick saves.
Yeah. Oh.
So this is one of those situations where you'd actually prefer there be a wall between you and whatever's on the other side of them?
Then Harper will fly it to Enceladus. What Cantor's doing there, no one knows. I asked Alex to bring Harper some of her things.
Wait a minute. They took the Thunderbolt to both of those moons, but then they put it back here.
They made multiples.
Oh, I thought it was still a prototype.
I don't think it's this log or it's the next log. They basically mentioned that normally the Thunderbolt has to be mounted on a dedicated platform, but Cantor wanted one that was configured to be a UPI, which is the Universal Weapon Adapter that we're using.
Oh goodness, he's gonna put it on auto-op, isn't he?
Cantor has ordered us to prepare for an attack, so we're modding the Thunderbolt for the UPI.
Oh wait, no,
Yep.
Here we go.
she did it on her own accord.
They look like something out of the Sibylline War.
But she's also basically saying, yeah, we're mounting the Thunderbolt on dedicated auto-ops. Here's one that can fit onto, the quote-unquote player ship. Oh, there we go.
Hang on, that was a hell of a drop. What is the Sibylline War they're talking about? Don't think I've heard that
what
before.
is Sibylline? Sibylline.
The Great Backstory War.
Ah, lore.
Sibylline. Sybil. Well, let's see here.
No, it's spelled
Anatolian
CYB.
Mother Goddess.
So it kind of sounds like cyber, so I'm guessing that they've fought robots before.
The Sybil asteroid are a dynamic group of asteroids named after asteroid 65 Sybil. The last outpost of the extended asteroid belt consists of nearly 2,000... Oh, I know what it was.
Okay.
The Sybil asteroid field, like the little area there, that was supposed to be the setting for the Descent Underground game when it was in development. The one that got cancelled and canned.
Neat.
That is a nice
Yeah,
little callback.
Yeah, there's a lot of asteroids in that area.
Okay, now that we've cleaned up that area, now it's safe to get the key.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for the payoff of, oh, here's this disaster we averted because we didn't blow up those shield generators.
Well, give me a moment and I will avert disaster for you in a different way.
Okay.
Sorry, there we go. Super upgrade point.
Man, it's just one floor panel out of a series of many. Like, I guess maybe the map would show you that that's there.
Yeah. But, okay, so let me just remember what I'm doing here. Sorry, I'm just going... Wait a second. I just flew through there. Like, why was there no ambush? Bad, John. Back up, back up. You don't want to go through there yet. Ignore that. Pass. Go back. Go back.
Oh, but there's an enemy over there. What if I can snipe it through the grate? Wouldn't that be cool?
I do, actually. No, and this is me going, oh, wait, there it is. That's that little L section there. I gotta get back there.
Okay. Yeah, that's Telltale right there, if you can spot that.
Yeah. So, if there's a cloaking there and the secret level, if you shoot out either of those little mini reactors from earlier, this door locks, and you can't access the secret level.
Oh, that's just mean.
Oh. How do you even know that that's what happened? Does it say, like, door closed or something?
Yeah, pretty much. So, this is...
I guess the only clue you have towards that is you fly into the area, maybe you fly around a little bit before you notice the shield generators, or you don't see any obvious force fields around. Maybe that's your clue that these things aren't connected to anything useful. But even so, you've been trained all game to blow those things up on sight.
Yeah. But fortunately, that's the only case of negative continuity for them. Also, this level is... it's a visual mess, and it's very hard to, get a bead on things. I had a lot
when you initially brought that up, I was assuming that was going to be a case of, like, oh, there's 2 enemy spawners right by that collectible, and if you blow up either of those shield generators, then the shields turn off, and then there's, like, enemies right there ready to greet you.
No, not in this case.
There was
in the
actually a tell
meantime,
for
at
that
least this
secret you
area
didn't
does
see
seem to
before
have
daylight.
some landmarks to get your bearings by, but it is kind of busy looking, I agree. Lots of holes everywhere.
Yeah, sorry, Ahmed, you were saying something?
There was actually a tell for that secret that Layla didn't see before, where there were some red neons on the wall which were pointing towards the panel. But we've seen so many of those before and they never mean anything.
Yeah, that ceiling passage was actually kind of sneaky.
I see what you mean with this room, though. It basically looks the same no matter where you are and what angle you're viewing it from.
Yeah, like, now that I look at it, the central, indoors, pillar is your main landmark, but all the side passages kind of look the same as one another.
Yeah. I mean, as a multiplayer level, this is actually pretty great, but as a challenge level where you're just, spamming guns left, right, and center, not so cool.
And you're on a timer, so if you miss out on enemies, I guess it's spawning them at a high enough rate that you don't have to track down enemies so much as survive and fight back, but still.
Yeah.
Thanks for the warning about the ambush. That helps make it not an ambush, which I actually appreciate.
Yeah.
Oof.
Also, 14 seconds left. 6 enemies. 20 armor. How the hell do I pull this off?
Oh, just fly around like crazy, that's all.
I spam creepers like mad.
Just hold the button down.
Yeah, literally 2 seconds in, and I just blew through most of my ammo.
Ammo well spent.
Yep. I'm also out of homing missiles again. But the nice thing about it is that when you leave the secret level, it brings your shields back up to, or shields and energy if they're below 100, back up to 100.
Wow, do you have 8 super upgrade points?
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, during one of my previous attempts at this level, I actually shot that guy using a driller.
Checks out.
I'm waiting for the punchline.
The guy died.
Oh.
But that Super 6-pack of Nova certainly, earned its keep.
Yeah, thankfully it does seem to be handling these caves alright.
Yeah, like, these caves aren't as bad as the previous caves, and the smart missile is actually smart-ish.
Yeah, it's kind of a faint sound of it firing off, but at least you can sort of pick it up.
But the real important part to kill that guy is he drops the last,
No word from Wolf or anyone else on the outer.
drops the last log.
Guessing Cantor locked down comms again without telling us. We should check with Humjot.
And some days you just gotta fire a Devastator at somebody.
Well, I mean, when there isn't the thief bot around, you have to make your own excuses to fire those.
True, true. Wow, I just realized, I'm down to my Falcons, my mini missiles, and some creepers as my only secondaries.
That just means you're spending them wisely. You're not holding on to them. Might not hurt to save these for a little while longer if you can, though.
Yeah, it's time to, save them for a rainy day.
Yeah, you never know when an even larger enemy crab will be around the corner.
It doesn't really feel like any of the secondaries are bad, though. Like, worst case,
Yeah, even
when
the
you've got a beat on
Falcons have
someone.
been a pretty decent upgrade to your damage.
Yeah. And in a situation like this, even though they're not upgraded much, you just spam them along with your regular gun for extra damage.
I mean, these super packs, when they come around, they're doing a great job of filling you back up. Okay, that can't be all the enemies. There's got to be something else lurking behind that pillar there.
Actually, there is.
Oh, hello, friends.
Oh.
And the nice thing about the enemies using Cyclones is that the ones they're using don't have the range extender to them, so you can actually see them.
Yeah, they're disappearing before they get to you. Fancy. Still, those are some fast shots, though, so if they do close a distance on you, then can't really take advantage of that for too long.
No. $110 shields. Actually, that'll go up shortly. So.
Is that the reactor over there?
Yeah, that's the reactor. And here's an auto-op fabricator that's shielded and cannot be destroyed. Which is annoying.
It does seem like it's going to kind of be standard operating procedure from here on out, though.
Yeah, it is.
These reactors don't seem to be much of a threat on their own.
Well, to be fair, it's never been the reactors that are a threat. It's always been the stuff around the reactor that's
Exactly. They don't
challenge.
put the giant bullet hell machine guns right on the reactor. They give it to a robot and have it spawn from a spawner near it.
Yeah.
Or they guard it with 4 missile hulks instead.
Yeah. Or sometimes the challenge is just getting to the reactor. But now the shields are disabled. We can head back out to the main room there. That the auto-op spawner has been, busily churning out new friends for us to play with.
Yeah, was that... So if I understand that sequence of events, you had to fly near the reactor in order to destroy a shield generator that was shielding a shield generator on the lower end of the level. You destroy that generator, and now you can shoot at the reactor. But
Pretty
the
much,
purpose
yeah.
of that switchback was to turn on the spawner on the upper level, so that you had to fly down to the lower level and then back up in order to give the spawner time to do its work.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alright. I mean, it's only one spawner, so that's not so bad.
And, like, I can handle it in this way here.
Yeah, it does seem like the long range is giving you enough time to actually dodge those, missile pods, I think they were.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
And that is the most hilarious overdrive ever, Infinite energy, just as I'm running away.
Hey, that'll help if you get ambushed on the surface. They never seem to put any auto-ops at the entries of these mines.
But that is that. Join me next time when I upgrade the fusion gun and I go for a boss fight. And stop.